Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a total dilemma that pretty much all of us have faced while staring down that overwhelmingly bright, rainbow-colored sports drink aisle at the grocery store. We are investigating the everyday mystery of hydration. The goal here is simple. We're going to cut through all the noise, bypass the flashy fitness marketing, and look straight at what global health experts say is the absolute scientific truth about hydration. We want to see how modern marketing stacks up against actual medical science when human lives are quite literally on the line.
We're starting with a really provocative question, and it comes straight from the fitness brands themselves. Take Noon Hydration, for example. They have an article posing exactly this: are electrolyte drinks without sugar better? It's a fascinating question, right? I mean, in an era where we're constantly being told to cut carbs and ditch sugar, it kind of makes sense that our hydration should follow those same rules. And fitness marketing definitely leans hard into this idea, telling us that sugar-free, carb-free electrolyte drinks are just the cleaner, superior choice.
But there's actually some serious science backing up that anti-sugar trend. We have to ask a secondary question. And this one is pulled from a study featured by the National Institutes of Health. It asks, do carbohydrate electrolyte drinks exhibit risks for human enamel surface loss? Basically, do these drinks ruin your teeth? The research says yes, there is a very real risk. And let's be honest, absolutely nobody wants an extra excuse to hear the dentist's drill. So this dental health angle gives a lot of weight to those fitness influencers telling you to ditch the carbs when you hydrate.
But to get the full picture here, we really need to pivot away from everyday fitness trends. If we want the absolute baseline truth about human hydration, we have to turn to the ultimate, uncompromising medical playbook. We are talking about the World Health Organization. We're going to put those fitness influencer claims right up against the global standard for emergency medical care.
Specifically, we are going to look at the 16th edition of the WHO Model List of Essential Medicines. This was updated in March 2010. Now, keep in mind, this is not some trendy fitness blog. This is an incredibly dense, comprehensive directive used by nations all over the world to make sure they have exactly what they need to keep people alive.
So what exactly makes a medicine essential? Well, looking directly at the WHO's own notes, they define it as the absolute minimum medicine needs for a basic healthcare system. They pick these based on what is the most efficacious, safe, and cost-effective. That means every single milligram of an ingredient on this list is only there because it's proven to work in life or death situations. There is zero fluff here. To crack our hydration mystery, we have to dig deep into this massive document. We're flipping past the anesthetics, skipping the cardiovascular drugs, bypassing antivenoms, straight down to Section 17, which handles gastrointestinal medicines. And within that, we zero right in on Section 17.5.1, oral rehydration. This is the crucial point. When a patient is experiencing life-threatening dehydration, when absorbing fluids quickly isn't just about bouncing back after a gym session, but literally about survival, what does the World Health Organization mandate? They call it oral rehydration salts. Let's break down exactly what's in this life-saving formula. If we look at the exact chemical makeup, broken down gram by gram, the very first ingredient is really revealing. For their life-saving mixture, the WHO strictly mandates 13.5 grams per liter of glucose. Yeah, glucose. A pure carbohydrate. While modern marketing is telling us to strip all the carbs out of our electrolyte water, the absolute pinnacle of medical science mandates a substantial dose of sugar right at the top of the list for rehydration. It's really all about the delicate balance of these salts. In medicine, they measure this in milliequivalents, which is just a way to count the charged particles. Notice how perfectly matched the glucose and the sodium are. The formula dictates exactly 75 milliequivalents of glucose and 75 of sodium. They are the dominant, equal players here, and that is not an accident. This highly specific ratio is functionally designed to rapidly drive hydration right into human cells. The carbohydrate isn't there to make it taste good. It's a mechanical requirement. When you combine that 75 milliequivalents of glucose and sodium with the chloride, potassium, and citrate, it creates an osmolarity of exactly 245 milliosmoles per liter. You can kind of think of osmolarity as the thickness or concentration needed to make water cross into our cells as fast as humanly possible. That number, 245, is the WHO's absolute gold standard for fluid absorption. And the reality is, without the glucose, you simply do not hit this vital medical standard. And glucose's role in hydration isn't just limited to drinks. If we keep scrolling down the WHO list to Section 26, which deals with parenteral or intravenous solutions, glucose pops up again.
Right alongside sodium and potassium, injectable glucose solutions are listed as foundational treatments for correcting water and electrolyte disturbances. So whether it's going through your mouth or directly into an IV, global medicine completely relies on carbohydrates to fix severe dehydration. So, we have to weigh these sources to see the big picture. On one hand, yes, carb-heavy electrolyte drinks absolutely do risk damaging your enamel, just like the NIH study warned. If you're sipping them all day at your desk, your dentist is not going to be thrilled. But on the flip side, 75 milliequivalents of glucose is completely essential for highly efficient medical-grade rehydration according to the WHO. It is a literal trade-off between everyday dental risks and critical medical necessity. At the end of the day, the choice is totally ours. Even the WHO says this in their introductory disclaimer. They state pretty firmly, the responsibility for the interpretation and use of the material lies with the reader. They give us the raw, unfiltered data on what scientifically works best to rehydrate the body. But how we actually apply that to our workouts, our diets, and our daily routines, that's up to us. Which leaves us with a final, provocative thought to wrap up this explainer. We know the marketing pitches, and we've acknowledged the very real dental risks, but we've also uncovered the uncompromising, glucose-fueled reality of global medicine. So based on what we've unpacked today, how does this change your next sports drink purchase? The next time you are totally depleted and need serious hydration, are you going to follow the fitness trend and dodge carbs entirely, or will you trust the science of